Hello everyone. We're going to, in this particular tutorial, we're going to create a surreal scene. That's something that's not quite real, a little bit extraordinary. And in the process, we'll use several of Photoshop's tools because you need to have command over these tools to be really effective. So let's move with it. We'll click on File and Open. And I'm going to open the images that I asked you to download in Canvas. So the first one, I click on Desktop and I go further down, and the first one I'm looking for is Surreal Before 01. So I'll just double click, and here it's an image of the ocean. I'll then go back to the top left, click File and Open, and this time I'm looking for Surreal Before 2. So I'll zoom down to the bottom, and here it is, Surreal Before 2, and double click on it. And this is a fellow with an umbrella. This will give us a chance to use the magic wand because we want to select him and not the background here all around him and take him over to the ocean. So the magic wand is the best because this area is plain white, and it's easy if you do that. So just make sure that when you activate the magic wand, here it is, that you then look across the top. And in this case, we want the sample size to be 3 by 3 average. That's usual. And then the tolerance we'll keep at 20. And you know about tolerance from the last video. And then just make sure there's a check mark against contiguous. That means that you'll be selecting pixels that are next door to each other. So I'm going to click on the white area, and then I'm going to hold down Shift on the keyboard and click near the man's feet, and there between his legs, because I don't want the marching ants to be anywhere other than around him and around the umbrella. So that's quite good, except notice what's happened here in the collar. Not all of it's been selected. So I'm going to press here Control plus so I can zoom in and you can see a little bit better what's happening there. So I need to change tools, and if I go to the fourth tool down, click and hold down, I can go to the quick selection tool, and there I need to go to the top. Can you see the brush with the little subtraction icon on it? I click, and if I then click once on the collar, it will subtract, and it's taken away the marching ants from inside the collar. Now everything is nicely selected around the man. The next thing you need to do is go to the top of the screen, click on Select, and go down to the word Inverse. Look what's happened. You can see that the marching ants are now all the way around the outside of the man, not anywhere else. Let's click on Window, Arrange, and Tile Vertically. And now if we use the Move tool on the left, we can simply click and drag him over. Don't worry that it looks huge. We'll deal with that in a second. Click back on the original picture and just go to the small X and delete it. It just takes up too much space, and also it takes up too much memory. The next thing that we need to do is to transform the size of this person. So press Ctrl T, and I'm also going to press Ctrl minus so I can see a little bit better what's happening. And I'll press Ctrl minus twice. And then I'm going to click in the bottom left corner on the small square handle and drag up a little bit. And it's still a little bit too large. I'll just do that again, trying to keep the same proportion if possible. Now I'll press Ctrl plus so I can see better what's happening. I'll then click on the Move tool, and it says Apply the transformation. Yes, okay, so I'll click on Apply. Then I'll move him to about this location. Now at the moment I think he's looking a little too fat, so I'll just drag him in. When I've done that, I need to deselect, and if I click back on the same fourth tool down, it will say Apply again, and now the line has gone away. And all these instructions are in your step-by-step printed tutorial. The next thing we need to do is make a mirror image of this man. And the best way to do that is in the layers panel, which is over here. You'll notice that if I press Control J on the keyboard, then I have another copy. And you'll see why that's necessary. If I go up to Edit, Transform, and go down here to Transform, here it is. And if I click Flip Vertical over and down, then I have another person but is upside down. So I'll click on the Move tool and just move that fellow down nice so that the shoes touch, and it looks as though it has a reflection. Now to make this look really attractive and a little bit realistic is to change the opacity, and in the layers panel here the opacity is always in this location, and I'm going to try 70 and see what difference that makes. So I'm pulling it down. Can you see it's much paler? So I think I'll leave it at 70 and then I click back on the fourth tool down because that was the tool that we were using. Alright everybody, we're moving along very well. We're going to add the umbrella. So click File and Open, and I'm clicking on Desktop, and I'm going to look for Large Umbrella, which is the name of the here it is, Large Black Umbrella. I double click and here it is. As you might have guessed, we're going to use the magic wand because it's a plain background, and so again the fourth tool down, click, go to magic wand. So I will click on the white background, and then this has done a pretty good job in selecting. So I can go to select and then I can go down to inverse. Now the marching ants are only around the umbrella. Now we need the two images side by side. So go to the top to Window, Arrange, Tile All vertically, and there we are. And we want to move this baby over. So I'm going to click on the Move tool and just drag it over, and then click on this one so we can remove it. Now at the moment it's rather small, so I'm going to click and drag and make it larger. It's larger because it's going to be the one at the front, the nearest to you, alright? And then I'll go back here and click and on the same tool, on the magic wand tool, and then I can apply. Alright, now you've done that, the last thing to do is to duplicate this, and the way to duplicate is quite easy. You just hold down the Alt key on the keyboard, click on the Move tool, and where's the Move tool? Here it is. Hold down the Alt key, click on the Move tool and drag. Can you see? Here's the copy of the umbrella. And I want that to be smaller because the umbrella's flying off into the distance. So I'll just make that smaller. And then I'll make a copy. I'll hold down Alt. And then when I hold down Alt on the keyboard, I'll just drag away with the Move tool. I have to apply first and then just drag away. So you hold down Alt, and it'll probably ask you if you want to apply what you've done. Say yes, and just drag it away. And then because this is going to be even further up in the sky, I'm going to make it even smaller. And once I've done that, I can click on the Move tool and click Apply, and there we have a surreal scene. And we've used several new techniques and tools, and you can now do this by following the step-by-step tutorial.